Cool, cool, cool. Well, you guys know the Super Bowl is coming up this Sunday. I would be excited for Andy Reid's revenge game against the Eagles, but I have COVID and I can't taste a darn thing. So, not
Well, you're throwing a lot at us,
I know.
Spencer.
Whoa,
There's
whoa.
a lot going on
Look,
here.
we've
Hold
been
on.
gone for 2 weeks.
Football,
Yes,
right?
football.
Okay. I mean, we were here
Well,
last week.
we're
We put out a
here.
show. Take
Magic
it
of
easy.
podcasting.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah. See, wait, so you can't
no,
taste anything.
I
You're a little
can't
bit
taste
sick?
anything.
With
So,
You got the
yeah,
COVID, right?
Wait, is this just like a story? Like you're like, I got COVID, so I can't taste anything, or you
no.
actually have no
Like I,
taste?
I legit have no taste right now. I love food. You
I
know
mean,
I love food.
yeah. Oh, I know you love food.
Careful. If you
Wait,
say food 3 times, you summon a chamois.
Hey, did somebody say food?
Hey.
Hey guys.
wait, what?
Shammy!
Wait,
I
was
heard.
that like a bell? Is it like a dinner bell?
No, you say food 3 times and Shammy shows up.
Wait,
I'm here.
to my house or to a recording? I need to know what's going on here. Hey, Shammy, how's it going?
Fantastic. It's
Yeah,
great to be here.
Are you here to make fun of Spencer for not being able to taste, or
Um,
just to teach us a little bit?
well, a little bit of both.
Okay.
Not being able to taste is awful.
It's the worst. I live for food. I do.
Yeah, this is a bad weekend to not taste anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't taste any
No,
food.
in fact, I was telling Jacob before the show through text, not in person, totally not in person. But I made some top ramen tonight, and I always go all overboard. COVID brain's a thing too, by the way. But I always go
Oh,
overboard
absolutely.
with veggies and egg, and I just grabbed the hottest hot sauce I have, which is, if you know me, really, really hot. We're talking 5 million Scoville or more. And I just
Ugh.
dumped it all over this ramen. I figured I'm going to clear my sinuses and clear everything else out, and I'm not going to feel the pain until 5 a.m.
Spencer, you do know that COVID, you just lose taste. After it passes through the stomach, everything else still applies.
I'm so glad I don't live in that household.
Oh, yeah.
Well, pray for Stephanie. Her smell goes too.
I'm worried about you, Spencer.
I've
I'm worried about the exit pain.
lived through worse.
I
I
mean,
don't know if you have.
I don't want to talk about your exit pain anymore. So let's talk more about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys watch football? Because I sure don't.
I catch it here and there. I play fantasy football. I actually won the fantasy football league that I play in with Jacob and with Spencer.
Yeah.
Now I hate to be that guy, Josh.
Mhm.
Name 5 players.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, that's one. By the way, I'm gonna say
Uh,
I'm gonna agree with you on every single
I'll-
one of these because
I'll-
I
I'll
don't
check
know.
him.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Doesn't play anymore.
Peyton
Doesn't,
Manning.
doesn't retired.
Terry Bradshaw.
Practically
We're
dead.
good.
Yeah, he's a guy.
Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah,
Yes.
I hate you guys.
very inspirational. Wait, so Spencer, are you the biggest football fan here?
Probably. I mean, I've actually, if you look around my podcast, you can't see. Maybe one day we'll post a video of these episodes. But I've actually
Sure.
got football stuff up behind me. A whole shelf on my bookshelf dedicated to LSU football. So yeah, I like football a lot.
Okay, it's just to keep your manhood. Like, look at my shelf over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I have it is so when I'm on calls and people question, they see all the comic stuff. I'm like, no, look, there's football. There's football.
He's got a lot of testosterone. Look at that guy.
a whole shelf worth.
I actually do like football. I like watching football. The thing is I just don't have a team that I'm a diehard, fan of. So
I think it's
Yeah, it
harder
is.
with pro, though. College is easier. Pro, it's a little harder because it's so nailed down and so specific, and they're making such big salaries that they have to perform.
I'll be honest though, for me, the biggest part of football is the tailgate and the food. Like, I live for putting together menus and making food for my friends to come over and watch football.
well, and that's and honestly, when it comes to choosing, whoever's going to win the Super Bowl, my pick, I'm usually picking it based on the cuisine of that city. So
For example.
Kansas City and Philadelphia this year, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to be
Kansas City BBQ and Philly cheesesteak. And
Okay.
honestly, like I want to be team cheesesteak, but at the same time, like I don't know if I can root for a team from Philadelphia. I mean, these are the
Josh,
Wait,
fans.
why
Josh.
not?
I'm
No,
gonna
these
tell
are
you.
the
No,
fans. These are
I'm gonna tell you why you cannot root for
they hate Santa.
team.
They
do hate Santa.
They threw snowballs at Santa.
Wait,
Tell
what?
me.
Oh,
When?
this was in the 90s.
No, this was the 60s, but they probably did it in the 90s as well because this is Philadelphia.
They probably do it every year.
Can you give me some context for what you're talking about?
So basically, back in the,
So
like,
Santa's
the
in the air, right?
60s, early 70s,
Okay.
Santa showed up to an Eagles game.
All
and
right.
they booed Santa.
What?
Then they proceeded to throw snowballs at Santa. Snowballs.
That
is Philly.
is horrible.
I know. So I kind of feel obligated to go with Team Kansas City. Even though I'm not a huge barbecue fan,
Look,
at least they love Santa.
I'm going to tell you this. The reason you can't root for Team Cheesesteak, it's because Andy Reid gave his heart and soul and waistline to the cheesesteak. For decades, he gave them everything he had to that cheesesteak, and they threw him aside like a used
Okay, hold
Wawa
on.
wrapper.
Guys,
Oh.
I don't know about football or Wawas. Spencer, are you saying that he coached for the Eagles or he ate a lot of Philly cheesesteak sandwiches?
Both.
The inclusive or.
See, you're talking about snowballs at Santa and giving his waistline to a team. I don't know what's
Look,
going
I'm going to
on.
Slack you or send you some messages right after we finish recording of.
If they're about sports, I'm gonna
It's
not
about
read them. How about
waistlines.
that? Okay, I'm into
I
that.
know
And I'm going
are.
to send you the video of them throwing snowballs at Santa.
See, that'll make me
Yeah,
sad.
and I'll show you Andy Reid before he started coaching at Philly and then after. And you can see the smelt man.
So
It might have been green-based cheese
if I
curds.
have Kansas City barbecue or a Philly cheesesteak in front of me, I'm going for the cheesesteak. And I know that sounds wrong, but the barbecue I could pretty much get anywhere else. The only Kansas City barbecue I actually know of was at Tony Roma's, and it wasn't all that good. So,
What about you, Shammy? Kansas City barbecue or Philly cheesesteak?
I don't know about you guys, but I don't base my football teams off of food. I base it off of performance. But
oh, that makes
If-
sense, I suppose.
if we're putting a cheesesteak up against Kansas City barbecue, I'm gonna have to say cheesesteak.
All right.
Santa.
Rocky Balboa.
But Santa.
But Santa, like you're mourning him.
I will show you that video. It is sad. It is like the antithesis of Christmas right there. It's the Grinch stole
Okay,
Christmas in
look.
Philadelphia.
Are all of us except for Spencer, who's sick, going to Super Bowl parties?
No.
Really?
No.
Shammy, what about you?
No, but I will be smoking some barbecue. So
Wonderful. Wait, I think you guys are kind of doing it right because I feel like I used to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. And then I was like, these commercials suck. They suck every year. The movie trailers you can see on YouTube.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, it's for the food, which the food is good. But now I've become so introverted because of the past 3 years. I'm like, maybe I'd just rather make my own food.
Mm-hmm.
Shammy, I feel like you're doing it right.
I mean, that's the way to do it. If you're gonna get good food, do it yourself.
Or go to your house.
Or go to, no, you're not coming to my house. So,
No
Wow.
hesitation
Hold on. I
there.
need to work on my approach a little bit better.
You got to be
Um,
out
You're
by
still
9
single,
is
Ken.
basically
I'm
what
working
he's
on the
saying.
commitment pattern real quick. Hold on. Will you?
I will be eating all the smoked brisket.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Hey, but I do have some food facts for you guys. I'm sort of known as the food guy around here, and that's why you guys brought me on. And I hate you.
I'm failing to see why.
Listen, I blame these guys. I see more to you. I look deeper. Okay.
Okay.
Hope maybe, even though
Okay.
you just disinvited me to your house.
Oh, I was just about to invite you. Kenny.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay,
Jacob,
we're
what
back.
do you mean?
All right, yeah, let's hear.
Our whole friendship started by sending each other pictures of what we cooked for dinner.
That's true. And I'm pretty sure yours and Josh's friendship
That-
started about what the dinner looked like afterwards.
Actually,
You're not wrong.
We actually had a conversation like that just yesterday, I think. Anyways,
I had a friend who would
All right.
send just a letter.
oh man.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Anyway,
Weird
that
segue.
really got away from me.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, of course.
Food fact, Shammy.
You know what? I do have some food facts for you. Okay. I have some. Do you guys know where the first KFC was? Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Actually,
right
yeah.
in the
let's know
middle
this.
of.
It's Salt Lake City. It is Salt Lake City.
Now, Jacob, ask Kent how much of the KFC menu he's eaten.
Kent.
I mean, look, it's all of it. Okay, take it easy. Although I didn't get to eat the double down
And
because it's
this-
been gone for a couple of years. But
and
you
this-
know what? KFC, underrated. Putting it out there.
Eh.
No, look, I know we all had it at Lagoon back in the day, and we got jealous of the families that had the bucket. But no, still pretty good. Maybe
Hey, I'll
even
take-
making a comeback.
I'll take a KFC coleslaw.
Yeah.
Those KFC coleslaws are like half sugar.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's
So
true.
good.
Yeah,
It
they're
is
so
true.
good.
Okay, another food fact.
Let's hear it.
Code dates. Code dates on food. Do you know about code dates on food?
I don't.
Do you know who regulates them?
What?
No,
Wait, what
who?
are they?
Eunice in
And who
Nebraska?
regulates them?
Like the
Okay,
expiration date, right?
Like expiration dates, you can be an expiration date, it could be a sell by date, it could be a use by date.
Okay.
Absolutely nobody regulates code dates except the
Oh, so that explains my expired chocolate milk.
Expired chocolate milk that tasted like milk. Wait. So
At
when
least it tasted good.
I get a gallon of milk, are we saying the grocery store is just kind of putting a stamp on it?
So it's not even the grocery store; it's the manufacturer. They put a stamp on it. Now, for example of milk, what the business would like to do is try and estimate before it expires, so that they're not upsetting their customers.
Okay.
But some stuff it lasts so long that companies put a code date on it that it expires, so that you'll buy more and throw away the old stuff.
Oh.
But I don't know what is that way and what's not,
Honey?
right? If
Nope.
it's dairy based, yeah, we probably know bread, sure.
Chicken?
Chicken doesn't
Chicken?
expire?
Yes.
Oh no, it expires.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, I have some in my fridge right now.
So what doesn't expire? Like would mustard be
No.
an example?
That's a fantastic example. Mustard,
Okay.
it's a vinegar base, and
Uh-huh.
vinegar is a
Yeah.
preservative.
Okay.
what about canned food?
canned food? It depends on the food, but most canned food is good for years. That's why they canned it.
Okay, this makes me
So-
feel better about the canned spam that I have.
Of course, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it expired back in 2019, and Marianne's afraid of me eating it, so I'm like, I'm fine.
I think you're fine
Is
on that one.
spam actually your Romeo and Juliet pact? If she were to go first, you eat the spam.
Yeah. Wait, but Shammy, don't we have a Food and Drug Administration?
Yeah, they have absolutely nothing to do with code dates.
That's
Huh.
fascinating,
But-
actually.
What you don't want to happen is a business. And guess what? For those of you who don't know, I was part of a business called Chef Shammy. We sold butter,
Mhm.
and we sold the company like 2 years ago.
So legally, we can't call him
So-
Chef Shammy. We have to call him Food Fact Shammy.
Or just Shammy.
Or
That's
just
fine.
or his
Okay.
name.
Or
Okay.
Call you sous chef. Shammy?
So, what about your butter? Since you were the manufacturer at that point, did you print a Best Buy or use by date on there?
So we did. What we
Yeah.
did is we sent it to Utah State, who has a food scientist there who can determine about when it's going to expire based on certain acidity levels and certain ingredients. And then we put the food date what you don't want to happen as a business is to have a massive recall,
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
because that's
So
going to
if
cost you way more in the long run.
and that would happen if a lot of people at once said this is expired well before the expiration date,
Yep.
right?
Do you have any other food facts, Jacob?
I do. I've got one more. It's kind of a big one. It's about saturated fats, because I am known as the butter guy. I know a lot about butter, a lot about saturated fats.
Saturated facts or fats?
Ooh, that's what we can call this
Ooh.
section right here.
Yes.
Saturated facts.
I love it.
Welcome to Saturated Facts.
That's a podcast
By Shammy.
right there.
Josh, you've got enough podcasts.
Yeah, you
I
do.
need another one.
And this is coming from me.
But
All right, what do we got?
so there was he wasn't even a nutritionist or anyone who dealt with food. His name was Ansel Keys,
Okay.
and he is the reason that saturated fats and fats in general are so vilified. So have you ever heard, a low fat diet, you're gonna decrease heart disease, you're
Yeah.
gonna get slimmer? We can
Right.
all thank Ansel Keys for that.
Is he like the captain of the no fun police? Like, what did he do that changed everything, that made the perception different?
So in the 50s, heart disease was just appearing. People are having heart attacks. Nobody really knows why. They're doing some studies, and this guy Keys, he's a pathologist.
Mhm.
So that's why it's called heart disease, because it's they believed it was a disease instead of a nutritional issue. And so he starts doing some studies, and this guy Keys, he was known by his colleagues to have a quick wit and a bright intelligence, and he would argue an idea to death. So, but Ansel Keys, he was also arrogant and ruthless, and he did tests on different types of fats, and he does this one test on only 66 patients. They were all schizophrenic at a mental health clinic. Has nothing to do with that, but it was only 66 patients, and he only studied them from 2 to 9 weeks. And then he made a hypothesis. That's a hard word. Hypothesis.
Okay.
He made a hypothesis based on that data. 66 people from 2 to 9 weeks. And then he was ruthless in promoting his idea that the less fat you ate, the more your risk of heart disease would disappear, the slimmer you would get. And he was adamant in proving this correct. He was so adamant that he would even ignore the tribes in the Arctic or Africa that their diets were primarily meat.
Yeah.
You know, you've got up in the Arctic, they're living off
Blubber?
of 60% fat. Yeah, fat was what they looked for.
Me too.
Almost no vegetables. Almost no vegetables and no fruits.
It's to the point now where I think it feels like common sense. If I have a low fat diet, I don't fat clogging my arteries, quote unquote, that it would be more healthy. But then I, talk to people that are doing a keto diet, right? They're looking to go into ketosis, and that's generally meats and fats, right? And they lose a ton of weight. I don't know if I'm that dedicated to do something like that, because there's a lot of food I still like bread, but apparently that works somehow.
So I think the misconception is that fat, like saturated fat, is a homonym. It's the same word as fat in the body, but they are two completely different things. And so they're equated. And because of Ansel Keys, who did this test, he actually later recanted and was like, "Oh, I was wrong, but it was too late. The damage is already done." And I mean, even today, you'll hear doctors, they'll be like, "Oh, just use a Mediterranean diet." Well, Mediterranean because it was less fat, because they don't have as much fat there, and it was richer in grains and pasta and fruit. But he recanted this, but it was too late. And we now today think of fat and cholesterol as going hand in hand.
Huh.
Hmm.
That's
So-
actually way more interesting than my food fact.
What was
Go
your
for it,
food
Spencer.
Yeah.
fact?
Did you know that it is illegal to run raw milk across state lines without a commercial license? I feel like freaking Han and Chewie every
He's-
time we come back from the farm.
He's not wrong. It's not pasteurized, and it is illegal to run across state lines.
I mean, I guess the Butterman would know.
You got Spencer up there with his potato milk.
Yep.
Hey, that stuff is legit. And Kenny, I know that Zach will back me up on that.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna have to take your guys' word for it.
Oh, I'll back him up on that. I brought
Yeah?
him down a gallon of it.
I feel like this is like a Prohibition era sort of like, concoction you made so you could get it across state lines, Spencer.
Oh, it's not raw.
This
I put
potato
potatoes
milk's
in
not
it.
legal.
Milk,
Yeah.
milk moonshine.
Officer, it's potato moonshine. Made in my bathtub.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then.
Yeah. Anyways, so wait, what kind of foods are we very familiar with? Like, what kind of foods have this high saturated fat that we're
Butter.
like, oh, we should avoid it? Yeah, butter, right?
Butter, milk. That's why they switched to margarine, which margarine is one molecule off of plastic. It's changed a
What?
little bit. Yeah, it's changed a little bit since the 50s, but they used to feed it to chickens to fatten them up.
This explains so much of my childhood obesity.
And we know we can trust Jacob on this because he's not in the butter business anymore. So we know he's not in the pockets of big butter.
Listen, I feel like you'd slip out of the pockets a bit, but big butter. So sign me up.
Tastes
It
delicious.
is a slippery slope.
I think it opens up, conversations about dieting because I've gained some weight over the past couple of years, and going to a doctor and asking for opinions on which kind of diet I need to do to lose the weight or whatever. My doctor kind of just took a more of a indifferent kind of approach, and he's like, well, just whatever you can stick to. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm sticking to something that's making me gain weight, so
You're
that's
sticking.
not the
Okay.
problem. I can stick to this diet very easy, but I guess it doesn't really necessarily matter if you're cutting your carbs, or if you're
Josh,
doing a low fat diet. I
I
don't
bet
know.
you anything if you lube that diet up in butter, it'd slip right through.
You might be right.
Do you guys think it's bad to eat a diet that consists of like 70% gummy candy and Diet Mountain Dew? Because like Spencer, I don't get sick, unlike you. And that's primarily what I put into my body. It's just plastic, basically.
You know what?
But he does
Plastic
lose,
and gelatin.
but he does lose
Hmm.
vision in his eyes about for at least 2 or 3 hours
Hey,
a day.
listen, only from 11 a.m. to 3:30, okay?
Well, hey, you know what? It's been a pleasure to have me on.
Yeah, should we have you back? I'm feeling like you could invite yourself. So, Shammy, will you got to come on back if that's all right.
Okay, you guys got to make me a promise though. I'm not always going to talk about food.
I think we can make
Okay,
that promise.
I can approve that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because I do have other skills, contrary to popular belief.
Can we still call it when you're on saturated facts?
Yes, yes, you may.
All right.
Hey, that could be the name of your new podcast, Spencer.
No.
Josh is trying to create a whole new network of just, hey, come up with a podcast. It's fine.
Yeah, if you guys will have me, I'll be back as much as you want me.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Anyway, thank you so much, Jacob. It was so fun to have you on the show. Even though we didn't talk about food as much as we planned, I think we got to know you a lot better. And
Listen, I don't think he
No,
wants. I don't think
that-
he wants to be seen as
that's
the
what I'm
food guy
saying. Is we
anymore.
got to see a whole other
Yeah.
side of Jacob, and that hopefully we see more on the show.
Jacob the Zoramite.
No, legit,
Oh my goodness.
Jacob the Zoramite, the OG Zoramite.
Okay. Guys, though, I want to transition into some news, some entertainment news.
Ooh,
Are we ready for this?
bread
Yeah,
and butter.
shoot.
Because sometimes I do this, and sometimes it just becomes a rant. So be ready. But AMC, so the movie chain AMC, we have I think a couple here locally, And, they're nice theaters. They were some of the first locally to have the luxury
Yeah.
seating, actually, before everyone kind of caught on. And I enjoyed it, because you enjoy laying down while watching a movie,
Well,
and it's nice.
Kenny, they're kind of like the Target of movie theaters.
Yeah,
You have
I agree with
Megaplex
that.
is the Walmart, and you get about a Walmart experience, and then AMC is the Target, and
Right.
Cinemark
So-
is somewhere in between.
I don't know about that.
Why not?
Because I've been to a couple of AMCs and those reclining seats or whatever. That was pretty much a Walmart experience. Like
Why?
it was the chair was like on its last leg, and I swear there was duct tape on it.
Okay, that might have been.
I mean, that's a Walmart
Okay.
experience.
It might be a
maybe
Walmart
they're-
experience. I get you.
maybe a Reams. I
what a-
don't know.
Josh, what about this? It's a '90s Kmart experience.
Okay.
Fred Meyer? Can we call it a Fred Meyer
Yes.
experience?
Now you're talking my language.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Anyway, so AMC is the newest company to sabotage their own stock, basically, because they have come out with this new model, which I think they will eliminate by the time this episode
Oh,
airs.
they're going to backtrack it
Because
hard.
they have said, oh, for sure, they want to stagger pricing for their movie seats. Now, for example, you go to a sports arena, and we all know that if you're getting great seats, you're going to pay a little
Well,
bit
yeah.
more. You get nosebleeds, a
It's
lot
a
less.
live setting.
And that makes sense because exactly. So what they're saying is, hey, we're going to do the same thing for movies. Even though it's a movie screen about 50 feet in front of you, and they really want it to, I don't know, reflect your experience, but I think this will backfire so greatly. So let's give it some context, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
here's the thing: is how they announced it is they didn't announce that the ticket prices were going to start the premium seats, the middle seats,
Yeah.
were going to be the
Mhm.
pricing they currently have, maybe a little bit more, and then
Yeah. So what?
yeah, I'll let you
Yeah.
finish.
So they're Josh, their standard sightline. Sorry,
You just joeled
Yeah.
me.
I told you.
Oh, somebody has
Hey,
too
look.
many podcasts.
Hey, it's you and me, okay? It's not
true.
Spencer.
Not
I haven't
Yeah.
caught you blue yet.
Yeah. So, Josh, they have a standard sightline. So the price you're paying now, which is too much, which is why I think people don't go to the theater.
Mhm.
It's basically the upper deck. It's the side of the middle,
Okay.
and you're paying normal movie price.
$15.
Okay.
If you sit right in the middle section, so like you're looking directly at the screen, not a
Uh-huh.
tilted head or anything, just look straight ahead, that's premium sightline, and you're paying currently $2 to $4 more per ticket.
That's stupid.
Okay. Now, the way they're trying to balance this out is they want this democracy thing to happen because the lower sightline, meaning your first two rows or the ADA seats, the wheelchair accessible seats,
Uh-huh.
they are going to charge $2 less. But hear me out. They say $2 less, and that's how they're justifying the price raise because they say, hey, you could pay less for a movie seat, right? This is great, but only if you're a member of AMC. So if you're buying a random movie ticket and you haven't signed up, you're paying normal price for the seats they're charging other people less for, right? That's the very fine print. So what they're doing here is they're just charging more to sit in the middle of the theater. But here's what's going to happen. People are going to pay less. They're
Yeah.
going to pay less to get all the other seats, and you're going to be stuck. If you're the last one to get a seat, you're going to have to sit right in the middle and pay more.
Or just go to another
Mm-hmm.
screening at another theater.
Oh my
Sure.
gosh, that is so stupid.
Now, you mentioned
Um,
something. This is where the downfall is going to come. I wonder if anybody has pointed out to them that they
Yeah.
have made the ADA seating the cheap seats.
Isn't that wrong? Because they can't give those away, but people are going to pay for
Yeah.
them, right? To get those cushy seats. And they're meant for people who need them.
They have great leg room.
Sure. Well, okay. So we had a lot of stuff to talk about. And this is something that, Josh, while you were gone in Hawaii, Spencer and I have been wanting to talk about for a while.
Oh,
This may not be...
You were blowing up like the whole
Oh,
text
yeah.
thread, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
And it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So, Spencer, if you would. By the way, it's going to be a little, maybe ranty.
Nerdy.
We'll see.
So while Josh was gone, the long-awaited DC universe, the DCU slate, well, the first phase, which is being called Gods and Monsters, was revealed by James Gunn. Now, I'm going to read off the first projects that he announced with some information.
Well, first off, though, can I give some background?
Yeah, go for it.
DC movies, obviously, it started with Man of Steel.
Perfect movie.
And they did their very best to compete with, I agree. They did their best to compete with the MCU, which, for the longest time has been making some of the most successful movies of the past 13 years until recently. And they've been doing it really well. And so DC has just been trying to stumble to find where their line of quality and financial success is.
They've been a rudderless ship.
And they've changed management several times. Zack Snyder was unceremoniously got rid of. And so they're just like, well, we don't know what we're doing. We have Ben Affleck as Batman. We have Robert Pattinson as Batman. We're now going to do multiverses just like Marvel does. And we're going to do a Flash movie to maybe reset it. And they hired James Gunn and a producer he's worked with a few times, producer of like The Conjuring, for example, a very successful producer for WB. These guys are the new CEOs. And these guys both said, okay, we're going to right this ship. We're going to make sure everything is on the same wavelength. We're going to reboot everything. And it's going to be an amazing 10-year plan. But the first thing they did is fire Henry Cavill as Superman.
We're getting into a matter of semantics here. Okay. Because he did.
Spencer, you and I are going to disagree a few times.
We are going to disagree. Now, you know how I feel about my pretty boy, Henry Cavill. Like, the prettiest boy. There's no bad picture. There's actually a picture of him getting pulled over drunk.
There is. It's Joss Whedon's Justice League when they covered the mustache.
That's half CGI.
Yes, I know.
Like, there's even a picture of him getting a DUI. Or, well, not a DUI, but he's drunk and he looks fabulous. Like,
I bet he does.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous. But he was not fired, technically speaking, because he never had the role in the new DCU.
Okay. You can say semantics. I say PR speak.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a verbal agreement. There was never a written contract for his return once he did the Black Adam cameo, which was a movie that bombed. And if the movie did well, they would have given him that contract all the live long day.
And part of it might have been because they have been in a rudderless ship. One half of the Warner Brothers universe was telling Henry Cavill, yes, you're back. While the other half, who's actually planning the DC universe, was not planning on having him back. In fact, James Gunn, in an interview with Variety, called this out and even said, calling out the previous regime at Warner Brothers heading up the WB films, who many of them still work at WB, saying that they screwed up. They were no direction. And he even specifically called out they dicked around Henry Cavill, is the words he used.
But he literally did the same thing. He can say they dicked him around. When we talk about these announcements for the upcoming slate, he's doing the exact same thing.
Yes.
He could have had all favor, because I would say, there are people who are kind of mixed on the movies, but Henry Cavill was meant to play Superman.
Yes.
Gal Gadot is meant to play Wonder Woman. And these are two people that, one half currently doesn't have a job and the other may not. And so, Josh, basically, it started with some really bad publicity. And so he said, we're going to announce the new rebooted slate, and I'm going to give you reasons why we're going to announce new actors in the roles and new movies and new heroes to highlight. So, Spencer, go ahead.
Okay.
Necessary context.
This is making more sense now. I'm trying to cross reference what you're saying here from the text thread. So
Sorry, it's a lot.
So the first project he announced was called Creature Commandos. This is an animated series. They're superhumans. He announced that actors and characters that appear in animation would also have the same voice actors and actors in live action projects. So if somebody is voicing somebody in this animated project, Creature Commando, then you're likely to see them in the live action form, voiced and portrayed by the same actor. Characters in this include Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, Rick Flag Sr., which is going to be interesting because James Gunn's last project with DC was the Suicide Squad, which had James, or COVID Brain speaking up now, Rick Flag Jr., played by Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah.
So, and then of course,
Now,
this is a little nepotism by, well, a lot of nepotism by James Gunn, because this also has Weasel, played by Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother. So this is a first project.
yeah. Whoa, hey everybody, new DC slate. Let's talk about World War II Weird Mutants. That sounds really awesome. Written by James Gunn. Crazy.
Hey, written by James Gunn.
Continue the hype
The
train.
next one is Waller, and this is a spinoff from
Whoa, Waller, my favorite DC comic.
Viola Davis is coming back, and is also
She's good.
yeah, it's in the Suicide Squad universe that Gunn has kind of carved out for himself in DC. You know, Creature Commandos kind of fit.
Who else is playing in that movie?
Um,
James Gunn's wife is in that movie.
What? No. What?
Yeah, she is. Spencer, I'm so sorry. Here I am, like, interrupting you. You're actually giving the facts, and I'm, like, being really sarcastic.
No, that's your job.
Yeah, right. I'm kind of jumping in here because what he said to begin with was reset.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's done is he said, well, we're going to keep what we like, and we're going to get rid of what we don't. And that's where the slight with Henry Cavill comes in.
I could see that.
So far.
I could see that.
Because he's like, hey, Viola Davis was in the 2 Suicide Squad movies, and my wife is in one of them, and I made Peacemaker on HBO Max, and we're going to incorporate that still.
Yeah.
But Henry Cavill as Superman doesn't make any sense because we want a young Superman. Anyway, so keep going.
The next project, and this is going to make Kent mad, it's the only one that actually has a release date attached to it, and that is Superman Legacy. This is the Superman film starring... who knows right now? It's going to be released
A 25-year-old.
somewhere in that line. He just said that it is going to be a young Superman focused more on his relationships at the Daily Planet and who he is, that balance between Clark Kent and Superman, right?
Written by James
Gunn. Released July 11th, 2025.
So far we have 3 projects written by James Gunn.
Maybe more.
Okay.
But hey.
I know a couple narcissists.
But he hasn't said he's going to direct it yet.
Yeah.
I honestly, there are rumblings that the Christopher McQuarrie is going to be attached to this one. I'm hoping that's the case. But to be completely honest, I don't see somebody like James Gunn, who's a writer and a director, writing a film and then giving his vision over to somebody else.
Well, he may be too busy with writing and being a CEO that he may have good directors direct. And truly, he did come out and say that it's all going to be about directors' visions. The writing comes first. And even though, yes, it's part of this grand plan, kind of like a Marvel-esque plan where they're leading to a grand, face-off for the first chapter, they do want to focus on directors. That said, it just kind of seems like James Gunn having fun and getting some money to
correct
do it.
You first, Kent, because he didn't say that about directors. He more importantly said this about writers. He said that the new DCU is not going to be beholden to tentpole movie release deadlines, and they're not going to announce a release date for a movie until the script is actually finished. One of his frustrations, and he called out Marvel on this one, is sometimes you're writing the last arc or the last chapter of a script for a Marvel movie while you're filming the first 2.
It's true.
And it shows, especially I just finished Black Panther, finally watched that one, and that was very apparent that they were just trying to figure out how to string this thing together at the last minute.
Yeah.
So that's something that gives me hope with James Gunn, is saying,
I hear that.
Hey, we're gonna give more power to the writers so they can actually get their vision out there. The next film or the next series, because this is going to be across, this is kind of ambitious. He said that it is going to be animated, television, movies, and video games. It was going to all connect across those. I don't see them being able to get A-list actors or even B-list actors to commit to recording lines for video games too. But we'll see.
Right.
The next project, though, is one that they had announced and is being retooled to fit more in with the DCU, and that is Lanterns. This is an HBO series, like a prestige series, that's going to be focused on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I think this is a smart move, especially with the lanterns that they were going to focus on prior, which were Guy Gardner and I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to blame COVID brain.
Kyle Rayner.
No, it wasn't Kyle Rayner. It was Guy Gardner, Jessica Cruz, and then the original Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan, but before that actually wasn't a Green Lantern. He got his powers from a magic lantern.
Alan
Yes,
Scott.
Alan Scott.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
I was
sorry,
gonna-
Josh. This
that-
is
that got
so
super
nerdy.
I was going to say the same thing.
You're like, I'm going to say 2 first names and hope I get it right.
Yes.
Hal Jordan, Alan Scott.
But I think the pivot to focus on Hal Jordan, he says this is going to be a kind of buddy cop film or TV series.
Well, but sort of True Detective as well.
Yeah.
So
Buddy cop,
no, this one is a given.
not a comedy.
This was part of the original
Yeah.
slate about 6-7 years ago, and yeah, I mean it's a good move, and it's an HBO Max series. We'll see if it happens.
I hope so, because Hal Jordan has been kind of shoved aside, and to be completely honest, a lot of
Yeah.
people know Jon Stewart, which is great. Give more power to Jon Stewart, but love to see the two Green Lanterns that people actually know get put out first, rather than, hey, we're gonna put all
Yeah,
our
and-
Z-listers with the Green Lanterns.
Josh, Jon Stewart is a Green Lantern, not the former Daily Show
Oh,
correspondent.
yes.
So
Okay, thanks for putting me back
yeah.
on track, because
Yeah.
that is where exactly I was going with my thought process. I'm like, this could be really interesting.
mhm.
Josh, if you want to familiarize yourself with Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, he's the one that's in basically all the animated TV shows.
You still have me lost, but yeah.
All right.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I know you represent a large part of the audience, and so we're trying to teach a little bit, but also like we want to make it relevant
Yeah.
at the same time. You
Well,
know.
and I think that's great, because I think it's also great to kind of be introduced to these type of things, because I just never had that segment of nerdiness as a kid, or even as a teenager, and so I've always wanted to kind of get into it, but I just never had the friends that nerded out like you guys
we're your
do.
friend.
Well,
I'm
welcome
learning.
welcome to your 40s. You know.
So, yep.
Hey,
I
Yeah.
gotta start collecting some weird crap or something.
careful!
right?
Real soon, we're gonna start playing D&D.
I'm not to that level yet. We give it some time. Okay.
Not yet. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. What I'm gonna do with these next ones is just lump together the TV series, and then the movies, and we'll end on one last big movie. So the next ones are gonna be the TV series. Paradise Lost is a Game of Thrones style television series, is what they're saying about Wonder Woman on Themyscira. And then Booster Gold is an HBO Max series. Booster Gold is a loser hero from the future that sends himself to the past to try and be famous.
Great character.
Great character.
Yep.
It'd be
Great
interesting
character.
to see the cast. And then the last one, TV wise, is no, that's all the TV ones. I apologize.
Okay.
Again, I'm gonna blame COVID brain on some of these. The movies, though,
Ride that out as much as you can.
I'm going to. The movies. So I'm going to start with the lesser known movie, going to a semi more known movie, and then the two movies that I want to end on are kind of the bigger ones for me. So the first one is The Authorities. This is basically a group of anti-hero semi-villains that kind of get together and say to the world's governments, hey, this is how you're going to do things, and if you don't do it our way, we're going to come and get you. So I don't know where they're going to take the series. It stars Apollo and Midnighter, as well as...
Do you mean that it's basically a version of Batman and Superman that are in a relationship? Is that what you mean? What they're going to do with
probably
that?
why they're doing this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. Yeah, if you want to know more about The Authority, just Google them. I don't know how well that one's going to...
I think everyone did. They're like, wait,
Yeah,
who?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
The next one is,
Yeah.
and this is going to be a fun one, I think, because they think there is rumors that James Mangold is attached to direct this one, and it's Swamp Thing.
You're so stoked
I'm
about
actually
this.
really stoked about this one. He's billing this one as a dark horror film, and one of the Gunn's big things when he was talking was that he's going to let the directors, rather than a superhero film with the flavor of a genre. They're going to be genre films with superheroes in them. So this is going to be a straight up horror film. He's allowing it to be darker, which honestly, if you watch the HBO Swamp Thing series, that's the best way to go. Swamp Thing. That was a great show. If you haven't checked that out, a little plug. The next one is Supergirl, World of Tomorrow. This is kind of a bigger one. It's based on Tom King's. He did announce this one specifically was going to be based on Tom King's recent storyline miniseries, Supergirl, World of Tomorrow. If you know me, I've loved Tom King. I think he's a fantastic writer. This one's going to be interesting because they're releasing it sometime close to Superman. So they're not holding back from introducing these ancillary characters that are tied to their Trinity. The Trinity being Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Which kind of leads me to the last big reveal. And this is a really, pardon my pun here, bold move of them, is Batman Brave and the Bold. And
he's Josh, he's very
I'm
proud
really
of
proud of
himself
myself.
with that. I'm just saying.
I know.
Yeah.
I see the smirk.
but the reason this
Yeah,
is going to be
so
a big one, I'll let Kent.
so Spencer, it's Batman Brave and the Bold, right? And so we
It's not a
currently
soap
have
opera, right?
well, it sounds like it, right? So we currently have Robert Pattinson
Mhm.
as the Batman, right? And most movie fans
Oh.
will just be like,
That fits him so well.
well, here's
It
the
was
thing
good,
though.
Josh.
That movie and that trilogy will be its own thing. They're calling this Elseworlds,
Yes.
where they're saying, hey, movie audiences, that's going to be its own trilogy. The Matt Reeves directed Batman movies will be their own thing, but we're going to have another Batman, kind of like they currently have.
Don't do this.
So kind of like they have Ben Affleck, and they're like, we're going to clean this up.
Oh.
And so they will have a new Batman, a new actor, and they're bringing Robin in. What they really want to do is have a Batman and Robin series based off the Grant Morrison run, even though that was Dick Grayson. So it will most likely be Bruce Wayne and his son as the latest Robin, Damian Wayne. And he's kind of like a rebel without a cause. This is a more comedic style to Batman and Robin.
Maybe.
So they're gonna wear.
I think so. I think this is
tights.
made. No, this is made for kids. This is so kids can watch
Oh.
Batman for the first time in a long time and say, "Yeah, Batman's cool." Because kids wear Captain America
Yeah.
shirts, but Batman's a little too rated R for them. Let's be real. And so I think they want kids to really like Superman and Batman again. So they're going to make them as light and fluffy as
Now-
possible, which is fine because they are still
Hey,
going to be the Robert Pattinson movies.
If they want a fluffy Batman, sign me up.
Well played.
I will play.
Well played.
I will play Batman.
Now, you're leaving out some important information with Brave and the Bold. They did say that
Okay.
it is going to be Batman and Damian Wayne as the Robin are kind of going to be the central point. But they've also established that this Batman has been active for about 11 years. And
Is there a chance this is Ben Affleck as the more grizzled
I think so.
Batman, who possibly is old enough to have a son?
I think so. They have confirmed that Dick
Really?
Grayson, and they're going to introduce other members of the Bat family in this film as well. So it's not just going to be Batman and Damian.
So let's pull it back. Yeah, and I love the Bat family. I think it's great they're going to introduce them.
If
Fantastic.
Batwing gets his own
Let's
film,
pull it back because
that's all I want.
Josh,
The Bat family.
Hey, it's a thing.
Is
No,
there,
that's
is
the
there,
thing.
is there a Bat verse like the Spider Verse?
Yes.
Are we gonna have like 10
There is.
million Batmans?
we could,
Because they
but
can
no.
have fluffy Batman.
You're still trying to promote yourself. So, but let's pull it back because before James Gunn's planned disasters happen, we still have Shazam 2. We have Aquaman 2.
Mhm.
And Aquaman, the first one made over $1 billion. But we still have The Flash, which James
Yeah.
Gunn is calling one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen with, alleged felon Ezra Miller. And this movie is meant to reset the DC universe, but it's also going to reintroduce Michael Keaton as Batman and another Supergirl. And Ben Affleck's going to be in there too. And I don't know if they're just trying to promote these movies and then leave them be, kind of like what they're trying to do with Henry Cavill, but they don't want to undercut it and say, yeah, those movies are dead ends at this point, right? Please still go see them.
I don't know. It sounds like, I honestly don't know. They have kind of killed the puppy in the kennel, for lack of a better
Yeah.
explanation, with these movies. when you watch them promote The Flash, yeah, they're saying this is one of the best superhero films I've ever seen. It's got that PR speech. It's got that gritted, grin and bear it delivery where, James Gunn is looking at Ezra Miller and saying, the first chance I get, you're gone. Because you are just
I don't know.
mess.
I think Ezra Miller has blackmail on every studio executive at this point. Otherwise, that guy would be toast. He's ruined his career, but he still has
eventually,
one. Where Henry
eventually, is there going to be a Me Too movement just with Ezra Miller?
I know, truly. Fluffy Batman will be first to step up and say,
I will defend
claim.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, to make a claim.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So
if I get a nice settlement.
Yeah. So here's my issue, Spencer, is I know they're trying to do a reset. I think they were too soon to announce it. I think they announced it because of the bad press with what happened with Cavill. Because they weren't ready to promote anything new until these movies that come out this year are released. Because I don't think they quite have the plan yet. And I think they want $1 billion per movie. Because Warner Brothers needs it. They're bleeding money. And I think no one cares about this slate that they released.
Well,
the news on this was like, oh, okay.
Well, if you look at how they released
Cocaine
it.
Bear is not on that slate.
I would say Cocaine Bear.
It's not a part of the DC universe, Josh. Yet.
Should be.
Should be.
They had a chance, but they failed. 16 days, by the way, until it comes out.
Yes.
You know what? I don't disagree with you that they released it. I don't think it was because of the Henry Cavill. I think they were afraid of something coming up with Ezra Miller again. Or there's just...
Oh, like straight up murder?
Probably. That's the next step.
Yeah.
Or honestly, there's just a lot of pressure and a lot of... If you've looked at any social media dealing with the DCU, Twitter, Reddit, you name it, they are looking at every little thing that James Gunn does, and they're spinning out these wild rumors. There are some alleged quote-unquote scoopers. We don't pretend to be scoopers here. We're analyzing stuff after it's officially announced. We're not going to the corn dog stand guy at Universal Studios and be like, hey, what's happening with the next Harry Potter? Huh?
Right.
Firing Miller.
You mean we're not going to watch YouTube videos and claim that we're scoopers? Anyway, so my worry is that James Gunn,
job.
right? No. James Gunn is the type of person that he is this bloviated guy that can't get off Twitter. Let's be real. He's not managing his company. And I like that he's clarifying rumors. I do like that. But he needs to get off social media because he seems like a fanboy at this point. That's only trying to defend himself.
I think the big reason I brought up scoopers is he's getting fed up with these scoopers making every little claim they can to try and discredit the DC universe before it even gets a chance. We've seen this in the past, especially. I have my theories as to why a lot of these scoopers or online personalities treat DC the way they do and uphold Marvel the way they do. We won't get into that here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people trying to ruin the DCU before he even has a chance to announce anything. I mean...
Well, I'll be straight up. My hope level, not even hype level, my hope level is low.
Have hope.
I am excited for them to take a 2-year break from any DC projects. Because I would like superhero movies to go away entirely.
And that's...
Except you do want to see Fluffy
Super
Batman.
Cocaine Bear and Fluffy Batman.
And maybe we...
Fluffy Batman v. Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear is my sidekick.
Oh, I love that.
I'm now picturing the Cocaine Bear in a Robin outfit.
Yeah. And so, Spencer, and that's why I enjoy the conversations with you, because you know more about the deep lore of comics. And I just know, some of the Hollywood goings on, but you were a little bit more positive here. And I love your positivity. I'm going to balance that out with cynicism and realism.
Realism.
Yeah, because I think this will last up until 2 DC movies or TV shows fail, and they will seek to replace James Gunn almost immediately.
You know what? The way that David Zaslav is, I don't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping...
Yeah. And granted...
I'm hoping they give him until after the next 3 projects and when his projects actually start up and spin up, rather than judging him based off of the performance of The Flash. Aquaman.
You're right.
And because the previous regime, that's exactly what they would have done.
Yeah.
So they hopefully have the cojones.
I mean, look at Black Adam. It was so reactionary. If Black Adam did well, The Rock would be on every press tour ever, and it would be the Rock universe. But because that movie didn't make the money they wanted to, he doesn't have a job there anymore.
And I think the announcement of who was going to be heading up the DC studio waited until they saw how Black Adam was going to do.
Yeah. Anyways, Josh, I know this industry stuff about really geeky stuff was deep dive, and we're sorry, audience.
No, I've just been over here in my corner, like plotting a trilogy of Fluffy Batman and the Cocaine Bear. Because I think this needs to happen.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I know a screenwriter or two, so it should be easy peasy to write this out.
I'm just going to leave you with this. Just remember that S symbol is not an S. It stands for hope.
It used to.
Nerd.
Okay. Sorry. Let's. Right. I guess we could end it there, right? We feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's two long episodes in a row.
Yeah, in 1 week.
Hey,
we're sorry, everyone.
In 1 week. No. Hey, but honestly, before we do end this, I do need to mention that we do have a big sale coming up in the other store.
Awesome.
So go get some merch if you don't have your other show t-shirts. We have some Valentine's Day themed merch. We also have some specific show stuff, like I listen to 2 podcasts. We have some Disneyland themed shirts, some Star Wars themed shirts. We even I think we even have some DC themed shirts as well. My favorite, though, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but we also have some Baconsale and the Party in the Back themed shirts. So it's kind of the logos of both of our shows.
Worlds are colliding. Yes. So go grab those at the other store. That's the other.show /store. That sale is on Valentine's Day. So this upcoming, Tuesday? I better know when Valentine's Day is. Right.
It's 25% off everything.
Awesome.
So that's one of the largest sales that we're going to have this year. So go save some money, go get some merch. So
all right.
Kind of a fun way to say we love you guys and thank you for listening. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We want to connect with you. We want to make sure that you connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find the other show along with each of us on those platforms. Except for Spencer.
Sorry, Spencer.
Okay.
Spencer, you're on Instagram.
I'm on
Twitter,
right?
I'm on Carrier Pigeon. Smoke Signals.
TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Are you on the TikTok?
No, I'm definitely not on the TikTok.
I'm on the TikTok, but I haven't updated it in a few months.
Carrier Pigeon, Smoke Signals, obscure things like that, and Letterboxd.
Letterboxd is the best.
Okay. Well, then that's how you can find Spencer. You can find the rest of us on the platforms. Additionally, whatever platform you listen to the other show on, please hit that subscribe button. We may be seasoned podcasters, but this is still a fairly new podcast. So when you hit that subscribe button, you're helping others find the other show as well. And if you feel ever so inclined, we would love for you to leave a review, because we also may even read those on the show. The good, the bad, and even the ugly ones. And of course, if leaving a review is not enough for you, you can always call my voicemail and leave us a message. So leave us a question, a comment, a compliment, a complaint, or even ask for recommendations, whatever they may be. You can give us a call at 801-508-4989. Again, that is 801-508-4989. And remember, you can listen to me on my other show at The Party in the Back.
You can listen to me on my other show, Baconsale.
And you can find me on my other show,